let's see. Got a whole bunch of people hopping on. So let's give everybody just a second. I'm going to start getting all these pictures open so that we can at least show this thing. I'd like to hear the story about it and kind of, you know, how it's going and things like this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Good. Everybody's hopping on. I saw Chad from DFW is here. All right. Good. Who else? Introduce yourself in the chat. See, I know it's like Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day, so it's like it's a hard day for everybody to hop on, but I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. For everybody that is coming to hang out. All right. Let's see. We've got Chad from DFW. We've got Todd from Lancaster, Tanya from San Francisco. Welcome. We've got Eric from Los Angeles and Debbie and Felicia from Mexico. Christopher from St. Louis and Renee from Chattanooga and Dennis from Middletown, Ohio. Okay, cool. Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out. So, okay. So today we have a special guest, Valerie. She's a Storage Nerd student. So I asked her to come in and talk about her deal. And before we get started with her and hearing her story, then I just wanted to remind you guys that this segment here, all these Monday night segments, they do become a podcast. Okay. So we have the Storage Nerds podcast. If you happen to miss a segment, then you could always listen to it. It takes a couple of weeks for it to get to get broadcast, but we have new sessions coming out every week. So make sure you check that out. And then also if you need help getting started in self-storage, then you should just check out my course, which is Super Simple Self-Storage. And that is available on the website, stacyrossetti.com. And also don't forget that we have a coaching program. It's called Storage Nerds. The doors are now closed for that, but they will open up in September. So just be on the lookout for that. And you can go to storagenerds.com and you can get on the wait list. And then once the doors open, then I take calls for 6 days. And then whoever wants to get in, we'll work on getting you in and stuff. Okay. So other than that, thank you so much. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And let's get started. So okay, so Valerie, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and kind of tell everybody who you are, and I'm going to pin you so that we can see you as well too. Actually, let's see it. There you go. Okay, so introduce yourself.
Awesome. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here on Memorial Day. And like Stacy said, I'm Valerie Williams. We are on our second storage facility, and like most of you, our journey started in single family. So I started about 6 years ago, flipping houses, wholesaling, buying sub two. We had a decent single family portfolio for a few years, and it was a nightmare. So I also am a licensed realtor, so I would help other clients as well. Along that journey, my whole passion was to be in commercial. So I looked at lots of different things. We looked at some office buildings. I did extensive research in multifamily. We did quite a bit of underwriting in multifamily, starting in 2019 for about 2 years. And we got to final and best, but we got outbid. If anyone follows the multifamily market right now, it really hit its peak end of 2019, early 2020. And that's when we jumped in it. So it got highly competitive. So that's about the time that I started thinking that maybe we should look somewhere else. Maybe multifamily wasn't our bread and butter. And so then I was a part of a brokerage group because I'm a licensed agent, and Stacy spoke, and I said, you know what? Storage facility sounds along the lines of what I like. And so we started looking around, and I did the 90-day challenge. And a couple months into it, we kind of found a property. It wasn't completely aligned and perfect and beautiful, but it's been going great ever since. So it's kind of the background of me.
So tell everybody where you're located.
I'm actually located in Conroe, Texas, which is north of Houston. So we are lucky not to get as much hurricanes and floods and all the fun stuff Houston brings, but we are part of the MSA. So we're all kind of connected and a part of that area. So
And then where do you look for your storage facilities at?
All over Texas. We've done extensive marketing all over Texas, everywhere. I haven't left Texas yet. I don't think I will. So our one storage facility is in Lufkin, Texas, which is about almost 2 hours east of us. And then the other storage facility we're closing on is about 3 hours north of us.
Okay, so before we get into your storage facilities, then why don't you tell us a little bit about like all the different types of marketing that you do to find deals?
Yeah, for storage facility specific, we haven't done a ton of creativity about it. So, I mean, like in general, we've done tons of different types of marketing, but for storage facility, the first one we got was actually from a wholesaler. Um, I'm not promoting to get them from a wholesaler, but that's where we got the first one. But other than that, we actually would do kind of what Peter had talked about, where you just go on Google Maps. We pin all the ones that you just aren't sure if it's a storage facility or not, and open up the Google map. And then we would create like an Excel list, bring it to a VA, and they would basically fill in the data by pulling up, the address on Google, because where we pinned it. And so then we created an Excel sheet of as much information as we could get, because obviously we were focused on people who didn't have a website, weren't on Google Business, anything like that. And so we were just trying to find the little ones that from an overview looked like a storage facility. Sometimes we would get ones with a website and stuff like that. We'd still call out to them. I mean, never want to waste a lead, but that was the most part. And then we did send out letters because a lot of people don't have emails, or sometimes they don't have any information. So we did send out a couple of letters.
Did that work at all or no? How did that go?
The letters did not work, which was a bit surprising, but not, I mean, I shouldn't say single family was massively popular doing letters. And we haven't had as much luck with commercial because the obvious, most owners aren't at the address, the commercial facility. So you actually have to do a lot more digging. And then there's a lot of owners involved in commercial. So then it's either you send 3 or 4 letters or kind of pick and choose. So you can spend a lot of money on one property, just kind of guessing of where to send the letter. So so we haven't had too much luck figuring out exactly the best route for that.
Yeah. Now, when you look up a commercial property and try to figure out where the owner is, it always has like a gazillion different addresses and phone numbers and stuff. So it's like, which one do you pick? The easiest one is just call them.
Yeah. We definitely would call them. Sometimes people wouldn't even answer their phones. So then we would text them. So you text them a bunch of times and call them again and try to get an email address and try to email them. But a lot of people in the rural areas, they are not up to date with technology. So texting is a new thing. Email is even newer. So I mean,
like, did you have an idea of like what kind of facility you were looking for when you got out and looked, or were you just like, I'm just go out and look and see what I can find?
For marketing purposes, it was pretty much everything, because I have extensive experience in wholesaling and I am a licensed agent. So at the end of the day, I had a couple exit strategies for whatever we could possibly even remotely negotiate. So it was kind of a little bit of everything, but our main focus was if something wasn't being managed 100%. Other than that, size, location, nothing really, we didn't take into consideration for the marketing purpose of it.
Cool. Okay, good. All right. So tell everybody kind of about this first deal. So you've been now marketing and you found it. So what happened when you found this first deal? You got it from a wholesaler.
Yes. So when we found this first deal, it was obviously too good to be true. The numbers were amazing, everything was amazing. And
from the wholesaler?
Yeah. So, which is pretty common, the pro formas are astronomical, the income is something, and everything made amazing sense. The unfortunate part with this particular property was as we were going forward, the wholesaler kept raising the price. So we knew what it was actually under contract for, and they would not negotiate, and they were almost making more than the seller themselves. So it was a bit unfortunate. That's why I don't like working with wholesalers very much. But in this market and with this particular market, it still made sense. This property, though, they said it was 30% occupied. It was 12% occupied.
How did y'all figure that out?
Going to the property, actually looking through all of the paperwork that was sent to us. Because it was also marketed as 119 units and it's 122 units. So the occupancy was
Oh, really? They didn't even have the right number of units.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot with
Right.
mismanaged facilities. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we looked through all the paperwork, anything and everything that they'd actually send, which, I mean, we got contracts from 30 years ago and stuff. And so basically kind of going through everything and actually adding it all up, putting in an Excel sheet and creating, our own tenant template and stuff, and kind of seeing what it truly looks like instead of just going off of what's provided for us, and realizing how off they really are. And then we were asking for kind of proof of any type of actual deposits, and they couldn't send any. So most of the occupancy, we weren't actually paying occupancy. So it was an incredibly mismanaged property.
Yeah, like too mismanaged.
Yeah, the owners, they just kind of, if someone was working for them, they let them store stuff there. They were like a property management company and wanted to manage it. So we were like, no. But yeah, like the people that lived there were like, whoa, we have to pay now. So it was just yeah, there's people there, but
yes, it's like a true mismanaged. Okay, so with that property, what did you get? What did you ask the wholesaler what did he give you? Did he give you a lot of information, or was he able to give you information about the property, or no?
Somewhat. A lot of it was, go and pay for all these reports and pay for all this market research. And I can't remember what the report's called because it was like $7,000 to do.
Feasibility study?
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what he did, or you did this?
No, that's what he's told us to do.
Oh.
No, that would have been nice to have.
Yeah, I know the wholesaler. Yeah, I know him. That's kind of what he does. Like, go pay your own thing. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing. Go to this, go to this, go to this. And no, so it was really just a lot of, I'm an agent, so I went through a lot of the access that I have, basically running a ton of numbers. We obviously had to get it appraised because our lender was a bank. So, just through that itself. And then I actually drove to the market and I went to multiple commercial banks to kind of get an idea of the area. And then I drove to all the competition and, gauge their occupancy and where they're located and how they look.
What was their occupancy?
Everyone was 95% or higher. Some people were turning people away. There are different sections of the town, and we're close to kind of an area that people really want to live, but it's a little bit industrial. So it's kind of this interesting, like little midsection. So it's still kind of expanding and growing over there, but
let me share some pictures and stuff, and so at least people will have a visual while you're talking. Okay, is that okay?
Oh yeah, I know it's hard because sometimes when you're so involved in a property,
should I share this looks like a nice property? Is this what it looks like?
Now it does.
Oh, now it looks like this. Let me show. Okay, let me do one that's like not this one. That looks so good. Okay, now
we forget what it looked like when we first walked in. So
okay, what about no, this is not it. Let me see. Hang on. This is the sign.
Yeah, that's the new sign.
Oh, that's your new sign. That's your new sign. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let me see. If we have any pictures, here, is this one?
It's white on white.
This is it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So this is what it looked like when you bought it.
Yeah. So it had a lot of, doors that didn't work, locks that didn't work, handles that didn't work. Every single door was rusted or bent. The trims of all the doors were rusted. Obviously there was just grass everywhere. The lights, I don't think I have a picture of those. We have changed them out since then, but the lights are like mercury, so they're incredibly expensive to operate and not very efficient.
Mhm.
Um, the security system didn't work. There was a few cameras, but they didn't do anything. And yeah, it had a lot of
I can
open
see
units that
these
were
like these
completely
lights were
full.
these like to the left. You see this picture right here?
Yeah.
This old like these are the lights you see a lot of. This is like the 1970s lights right here. Yeah.
Yeah. When you take a picture of them, they turn green. They're
Yes, yes, yes. So tell us about like, okay, how many doors are there and how many units, and then what's the total square footage?
The total square footage is 17,900. Um, there's 122 units, but one of them is a maintenance unit. So pretty much
Okay,
121.
okay.
There is this row keeps going and it hits the fence at the end, and the fence is not the end of the property. So it does, there is just over an acre, half acre past this fence down to the right, and this kind of open parking area. So between kind of the extension of the fence and this little parking area, there's about just over half acre to a potential opportunity.
Was this fence was this fence there?
Yeah, so the fence
Okay.
is still there.
Okay.
It's a bit of a struggle. We're slowly working on the fence.
Like
Um,
it's like a gated fence?
mhm.
And it just like it has a keypad or what?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
it has the automatic keypad to get in and then the automatic gate to get out.
Mhm.
But to the right is kind of forest.
Mhm. Okay.
Um, and then on the other side, I don't know if I sent a picture, but there was a couple doors missing.
Mhm.
Um, so as you go down like the exit, there's like a bunch of units that don't even have doors on them.
That's what here's something. Can you see this picture or no?
I can see the 10 by 20s.
Okay, hang on. I think I just switched over to a different one here. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. What's this picture of?
That's the entryway.
Okay. Yeah, so this is like the old, yeah, we have a storage facility that has like this kind of old big box here. Yeah, for the gate, and it's always breaking and stuff.
Yeah. It, it gets like a leaf in front of it, and we have a local guy that goes and like moves the leaf so it'll close.
Exactly, right. Yes, exactly. Like ours too. It's like, and then ours is like on a rainy day. Like sometimes, like if the sun shines on it directly, it doesn't work properly or something.
Yeah, they're a
Are y'all
struggle.
gonna upgrade this? Or y'all just gonna leave it? Y'all fine. Y'all like, no, I spent way too much money on this thing. That's it. I'm done.
Right. So that we're actually just going to leave for now. Eventually, we actually want to do this front gate because a lot of the facilities they have like the nice front gate and then the chain link fence that surrounds the entire property. So it looks really secure, but it's just for aesthetic
So
purposes.
does this only have this on the front and then like not on the back there? Is that where you're saying towards the back here is where all the extra acreage is?
Yeah, and it has a chain link fence, but it doesn't have like the barbed wire top.
Okay,
On
okay,
on the back, the side does. The
okay.
side fencing does have the barbed wire.
Why does
Um,
it have the barbed wire? Is it like super just like they just want to be like super secure or what?
yeah, just added security.
Okay.
Still
Okay,
looks
cool.
cool, right?
Okay, so over 17,000 square feet, you get 120, 122 units. And so and then when you bought this thing, that's the case. So when you bought this thing, you said it was only 12% full.
Yeah,
So how did you get funding for this?
I don't know. We have a local bank and they're pretty
It's a
awesome.
local like Lufkin Bank or what?
They are in other locations,
Okay.
but it is a bank that the one we went to is the Lufkin location. Um, they're not a huge bank though, so but they are in a couple other towns.
Okay.
Um, I
So a
did go to a
small
commercial
local
bank.
bank was just
Huh?
like, I'll, that's just a small local bank. They were like, yeah, we'll do it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so what did you have to do in order to get them to, like, convince them to give you a loan for this? Because I mean, it's very hard to get a loan for a mismanaged facility. Kind of what were their thoughts behind this?
Um, they obviously look at the history of the investors. So, we have extensive history in, managing and flipping properties and stuff. We have quite a few properties and we're passive in some multifamilies. So they kind of looked at that a little bit. Our other partner that we actually are, operate this property together, he owns a facility in Hubbard, which is about 20 minutes down the road.
So
So
how did you find that person?
yeah, that was random. The wholesaler was being super helpful and was just throwing names out. And so there was a guy that he said would be helpful, which anyways, but I called him and talked to him all about the market because he had recently purchased a property. And so I was kind of picking his brain about, market research and everything. And he wanted to buy the property and I was like, well, it's mine. So and then we just kind of stayed in contact for the next couple of months. And through that, it was like, well, we can run this together. And so it's been great. It's kind of one of those random.
So basically he's like a partner, and then you guys are really more of like the boots on the ground, or kind of how do y'all have that set up?
Yeah, we're a little 50-50. He's a little bit more of the technical side of everything. But I'm not necessarily boots on the ground either.
Okay,
We actually, yeah, we initially, to kind of meet with the contractors and kind of get it off the ground, I would go there. But when now we just have a maintenance guy that goes out once a month to kind of finish some of the capex, and then we have a lady who like answers the phone and does admin. So
okay, cool. And then what is the capex? Like, what did y'all decide like that capex was going to be for this?
We wanted to focus more on security and curb appeal. So we redid all of the lights. We added a ton of lights and obviously upgraded them. And then security system, you can see every single corner of the entire property. And we made it remote access. So we have control of it all the time on our phones. So
this is what y'all did?
Yes, that doesn't have the pictures of the new lights though. I haven't actually
okay.
been out there since I've done it.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
the doors really make them look good. So did you just have somebody come paint the doors?
the whole facility actually got painted.
Okay.
Yeah,
See what
so
a fresh coat of paint does.
right, because there was a lot of rust and just been neglected for so long, and it's a solid metal building, and so we went through and patched everything and did Rust-Oleum on everything, and then put the protective outdoor rust paint on everything. And they got new handles and locks for a lot of the units.
It looks really good. So what ended up being your like the terms from the bank, and how did the structure work for the partnership?
Our partnership is 50-50. We are 50-50 owners of Lufkin Self Storage. And so we just kind of have it simple that way. We do also have an equity partner. And he's 25% of just the equity and the NOI after reserves.
Are you talking about for the down payment?
Yeah, down payment and the capex.
And the capex. Okay. What was the purchase price for this?
600.
Okay, 600,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then what were the terms from the bank?
I emailed those too. So they are the interest is I want to say 4.5% interest.
It's a 4.25%, 5/1 arm, 12 months, no interest, 19 years amortized. Loan origination is 1%. I mean, that seems pretty good. I mean, are y'all going to hold on to this for like, how long are y'all thinking y'all going to hold on to this for? Because you could totally flip this and make a lot of money on this.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Once you get this all leased up.
Yeah. So, I mean, the goal is really just to hold on to it and keep it forever.
Okay.
But, at least like 10 years, not if not 20 years. So that was
Okay.
really the goal.
Okay.
The goal was to get it kind of leased up to a point and then potentially refinance it. And then kind of pay our equity partner out and then just kind of stay in the deal. So we'll obviously watch the market, but right now with the market, it's if you sell it, you can't put the money anywhere. So you kind of
Yeah,
keep it.
exactly. Especially now. Yeah. So just kind of, we're just like waiting to see what happens with the market.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, but like essentially I would say I mean, how much CapEx did y'all put into this?
We put about 40,000. We
Okay.
were kind of below budget on it. So
Okay. Well, that's good. So you bought it for 600, you put 40 into it, and now you're managing it by, you have somebody that answers the phones and stuff for you, or how are y'all managing it?
it is round robins between me, my partner, and the admin. So someone's gonna answer the phone.
Is there a lot of calls?
It depends. I feel like the first 2 weeks of the month, we get a lot of calls between tenants and new potential tenants. And then it kind of fades out. And then it's usually our admin is calling tenants after that. So it just kind of depends on the season and the time of the month, but not a ton.
What are you like? What are y'all renting your units out for now? I mean, are you getting like, are you at market rate?
We were we're slightly below market rates. We could go up, but we're about $10 or $20 from some of the other competitors. Um, but they have like on-site managers, and kind of, they're a little bit bigger and some of them have like non-climate and climate control. So we're kind of like a standard unit. So we're pretty close to market.
What was your due diligence like during the due diligence phase? Like, were you there a lot, walking through, trying to figure stuff out, or kind of what was your due diligence like for this?
Yeah, it was stressful.
It was stressful. Yeah.
It was super
Why
stressful.
were stressful? Why was it stressful? Because you were trying to find the money, or it's what?
The money was hard for sure. Yeah, because it was so mismanaged. Um, and just kind of, proving to people that we could do it and we could turn it around. But I mean, in real estate, performance and market analysis, I mean, they're helpful and you really need it. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you just don't have exposure and good operations, it like doesn't matter. I mean, the market could be amazing and you could be a terrible operational manager and have it, sunk to the ground. Um, so that's one of the things is you do all the research, everything looks good, numbers always look great on paper and stuff, but you have to make that a reality. So that's probably the most stressful part. But I was definitely there more often than I thought I would be. I got to know quite a few of the neighboring companies, and like across the street is an apartment complex. I actually utilized a lot of her referrals, so that was awesome. So there was definitely a lot of staying in contact with others, having others have eyes on the place and just relinquishing control a little bit. I couldn't just drive down there if I wanted to. It was kind of the farthest property we've ever had. So
Yeah.
but lots of phone calls, lots of going through the Excel sheets, lots of market data, and just going through everything multiple times. And double checking everything. And I would look at every single storage facility and I would just compare every single little detail to see like how close we really could compete instead of just being like, class A, class B, class C, or climate, non-climate, kind of like what are their amenities, where's their location, what's the vibe, the community of it kind of thing. So there's lots of little things that people are just emotionally attached sometimes. So
Yeah.
um,
I think a mismanaged facility, I mean, getting it funded, especially if it's a good deal, because I go through this as well too, then you have to convince everybody else it's a good deal. That's really kind of one of the hardest things,
right.
Yeah. So and I know that's what you went through because I know I talked to you several times. But the only thing I really didn't like about this deal was how much money the wholesaler was making.
Ditto.
Yeah. I just don't like it when wholesalers try to make so much money. Just so frustrating to me.
That is how you end a relationship very quickly. And it's unfortunate that people do that because the real estate community is very small.
Right.
And once you make a connection with someone, you should work really hard to maintain that. And some people just don't. So
yeah. So if you're thinking about wholesaling, you're listening and you're watching, you're thinking about wholesaling, essentially what we're talking about is the wholesaler for this deal. And I know this wholesaler, and he's a good person. He just tries to make so much money off of every deal. And I feel like you need to create a win-win situation for everybody. And that's just the one thing that's really frustrating about the whole deal. And I sometimes it just gives me like just be sick in the stomach, I'm just like, why can't we just all work together, but
right. Yeah. We tried even like 50,000 less, anything at all, because I was originally quoted quite a bit less. And then he came back with the other price, and I was like, oh, that's kind of why I went back to the table, and we almost walked away, but yeah.
Well, at least you found somebody. You found this person that's willing to partner with you, and out of the down payment, he brought money to the table, so that and then you guys just partner on it 50-50, and then just work the deal, really. I mean, and then you'll just have, and then honestly, the truth is for your first deal, there's nothing wrong with doing this at all. There's nothing. In fact, we partner all the time. We partner with people as well too, because I don't want to bring any money to the table. I'd rather give up money on the back end in order to make money on a deal, right? So in order to not bring any money to the deal. So you have to just keep that in mind too. There's nothing wrong with giving up money on the back end in order to not bring any money on the front end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So tell, and we have a couple questions I can see on. If you have any questions, put them into the chat. But I was going to say, okay, so now, like, what is it like? So actually, when did you find this and put it under contract, and when did you close on it?
I don't remember exactly the date that we found it and put it under contract. I want to say it was like April of.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say it was earlier on, like April.
Okay, so April of this last year, right?
I'm trying to think of where we are, 2021.
Okay. And then how long did it take for you guys to close on it?
We closed in November.
Oh, okay. So you found it, but it took a while for you to get it under contract, or what?
Yeah, it took us a little bit to get under contract. There was tons of back and forth, tons of different negotiations. And then once we got it under contract, there was lots of new things we found out about it. And then, just getting things from the wholesaler. And then,
how much time did you ask from the wholesaler that you needed to close? Like, did you get 90 days to close, or 120, or how much time did you have?
It was originally 90 days. We only really did one extension, and we pushed for another one. But the bank actually got it done. I mean, we got an appraisal done in like 10 days, and we got down to crunch time, which was unfortunate, but there's a lot.
That's how all real estate is. It's always the 11th hour.
Right. Yeah. We had all this time, and then all of a sudden it was like, shoot, we gotta close like yesterday. So but we got it done. So
well, I think that's how all real estate is anyways. So we have a couple of questions. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, so then okay, you closed in November, and then real fast, so now you've had this since November. So like, I know you guys have did the doors, you did the lighting, and like, what did you guys have to do? What did the first like 90 days or 120 days look like for you on this facility?
So they were pretty relaxed at first. I actually left town right after closing, and I was gone for a month and a half. So it just kind of hung out for a minute. So for
that was like right around Christmas time, I guess. So you just took like the Christmas vacation. Okay.
Yeah. So gone visiting families. We were just kind of MIA that whole time. And so it wasn't really until January that I kind of was like, shoot, I need to do something about the property. So we did get letters out at least and say, we're the new tenants or the new owners and everything. And
so it's like all 5 of them,
right? With like 7 returned
You're like,
letters.
oh, I got the letters out, all 10 of them. 7 of them came back. That's funny.
Yeah. So we had like horrible information. Yeah, we actually still have 2 tenants that we just can't find, to be honest.
Have y'all done any auctions yet?
We have not. So
Okay.
it's definitely been a slow ride. And it's a mix between having a partner, having it the first one, and then just finding people. I feel like the turnaround time for bids and getting someone out there and actually like getting stuff done and then getting materials takes 3 times longer than it used to. So it's been a slow process.
Yeah. But the good thing is that y'all own this now, so it's like it is what it is. I mean, some people feel like you have to like get in there and get it all going and stuff, but the truth is that you can just as you go, you just fix stuff up and get stuff done, and like you'll get tenants, it'll get filled up. I promise it'll get filled up. It just may take a little bit longer because it's a mismanaged facility, so it just takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, putting on Google Business was massive. That was kind of the first things that we did was put on Google Business with obviously we were through like ESS, so we got the website. And so that was huge. And then Google always, promotes you in the beginning, yeah, you're a new business, and then they stop. So I've recently done some like Google ads to kind of like help put us back up on the map a little bit. But it's been pretty consistent. We're almost at 50% now. And we didn't finish CapEx till March, like paint, and the security system actually didn't go until April. So we were a little slow on actually like turning the property to actually push for our new rent. So it's really just been the last 2.5 months where it's actually been kind of repositioned a little bit. So
yeah. And you feel like now you're kind of like, okay, now I can just start like leasing it up and just getting it leased up.
Yeah, we've kind of gotten to the point where our maintenance guy, we're just like, all right, well, here's like the end CapEx stuff that just takes time, but it shouldn't like hold up anything. And so every time he goes, he does like the initial, walkthrough and everything he's supposed to do. And then he'll kind of fill up some of the extra CapEx stuff on the end to keep filling away at it a little bit. So
how did you find your boots on the ground person?
He's actually local in Conroe. So he drives around, and he's going to be the same guy that goes to my other facility. And I actually found him on Nextdoor app. Actually, I found both my people on Nextdoor app.
Okay.
Our admin lady, she is a teacher. And then the other gentleman is a local guy who goes out there.
And what does your admin person do?
She does everything with the tenants. So she calls them, gets payments, answers the phone. She doesn't really do bookkeeping or anything like that yet. So she's pretty much just answering the phone and making sure that everything on the website is correct and all her tenants are paying, the leases are there, and they have renters insurance.
Okay. How much do you pay her?
I pay her $300 a month.
$300 a month. Okay. And then the boots on the ground person?
I pay him $200 a month.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. So you just budget like $500 a month to at least take a lot of the work off of your hands. Yeah.
So yeah, we still oversee them, and then I do the bookkeeping, but general.
Yeah, that shouldn't take too much time.
Yeah.
Okay, good, cool. Okay, we have a couple of questions. Let me just put these in real fast. Okay, hang on. One of them is at 50% economic occupancy. What is your expense ratio?
Right, percentage wise ratio, I can't do the math in my head, but our overhead is about 3,400. And we have about 5,700 right now with our occupancy, with our tenants and stuff like that, being at just under 50% occupancy. And we have, we've rotated through most of our tenants that don't pay. So we're like 0.5% maybe economic vacancy. Because all of our tenants that were struggling or had issues or anything like that, we've kind of pushed them out.
Did you have a lot of units that were like full and you have to get rid of the stuff and things like this, or was it like just empty units?
They were actually empty. When we were going to take over the property, there was a ton of them like that, and they actually right before close cleaned out all of them.
Oh,
Which was unfortunate because we did get a couple of calls the next few months of people saying, "Is my stuff still there?" And it wasn't, but that wasn't on us. So
yeah, because like, you're not supposed to really clean anything out unless they go through the auction process.
yeah. So pretty much if they didn't have record or it wasn't locked or I don't even know, they just went through and cleaned a ton of them and kept the people that they liked.
They're probably like, I need to go through all this stuff and take everything just so I can sell it on eBay or something.
Right. Something.
I'm sure that's what they were thinking. Like, oh,
it was nice.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, and then how much, like, what do y'all project you're supposed to make with this thing on a monthly basis with 122 units?
I actually don't have it completely full in my expenses.
Well, I mean, let's say it like 90% full.
At 90% full, we're projected to have just under 13,000.
Oh, good. Okay.
So obviously want to get to that point.
Yeah.
And we only did one rent increase, and we're not really looking to do that anytime soon. And I actually didn't project that for the next like year. So we probably will, just because of taxes and insurance and everything.
What's the taxes on this thing? Oh my God, I'm sure it's expensive.
We will
Texas,
definitely find out. We have
Yeah.
about 12,000.
Okay.
But obviously we're going to try to fight that and see what we can do, because that's not what it currently is. That's just what we projected.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the asking price. How much did the wholesaler end up making?
Can I answer that? I never know if it's okay or not.
I don't know if you want, if it's up to you.
Yeah, he made $125,000.
Yeah.
So put that in the span of owning something for 10 years. That's ridiculous. So he definitely took more than like I will make from the property without selling it.
Yeah. Well, you'll definitely make that on the back end when you sell.
Yeah, selling it, I'll make that. But for operating it,
yeah,
probably not.
Okay, were you able to would you have a conversation with the seller during due diligence, since this was from the wholesaler?
No, not for any information that we actually needed or wanted. We did actually try to reach out, because for a while there it was getting quite shady. So we did reach out to the sellers just to see if we could buy it from them with a little bit more. But they're like super country bumpkin. They're like, I don't know, it's under contract. So but like for actual like data and documents and information and financials and stuff, they had no idea. Because come to find out, the property managers were the ones that had most of the information, and we didn't find out about them until after closing. So we thought the sellers were in full communication with the wholesaler, and I don't think they were. So when we reached out to the sellers, they didn't know what was going on. So yeah, we didn't really know that.
Yeah, typically you don't reach out to the sellers. It's bad etiquette, but every once in a while I'm like, I ain't getting any information from this person. Let me go talk to the seller.
Yeah.
This is kind of how I am. Yeah.
But I would have called the property management company, but I didn't know that's where the information was coming from. I didn't know there was a property management company, because it was.
They had a property management company managing of this property, and it was only 12% full.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Yeah. So we had no idea. I thought the people that we were talking to were the right people. So, but they weren't.
Cool. Well, definitely after you close on the next one and get it up and running, it's in Texas, it's a couple hours away. So after you close on that one, you have to come in and tell us a story about that one too, because I'm sure everybody would like to hear.
Right. That one should be better.
Is that a mismanaged property, or is that income producing, or what is it? Your next one?
It's kind of a mix depending on what your classification of mismanaged is, because it's not on Google Business. They like rarely answer their phone. Just kind of a backcountry kind of property, but it is income producing.
And how big is that one? And how many units and stuff?
That one's 97 units. and it is like 99% occupied.
Oh,
So
cool.
we're
Okay,
gonna
good. So
raise
and you
rent.
should be able to get a bank loan for that then, right?
We do. We have actually the
Okay.
same bank
Oh, cool. Well,
on
see, now
that
you have a
property.
relationship with this bank. So you can be like, hey, let me go buy another one.
Right. I was like, well, let me give you one that's stabilized since you like took a risk on us for this one. I'll give
Yeah,
you one that'll make you some money right now. So
that's cool. Good. I like it. I like it. Cool. Good. Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Tell everybody how you before you say bye, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you just in case they or if they want if you want them to contact you or if they have any questions or anything.
yeah, I mean, I can put that in the bottom because
Okay.
I'm like I said, I still am a licensed agent and I still do storage facilities in other commercial properties. So I can put my contact information below.
Okay.
And I'm like Stacy, I'm kind of out there. Sometimes I do webinars and I also have a YouTube channel,
Oh yeah. What's your YouTube channel?
Ramblings in Real Estate.
Okay, Ramblings in Real Estate. Okay, cool. So you can check Valerie out on her YouTube channel, and yeah, and then I guess just good luck with your next closing, and keep me posted whenever you get that one stabilized, and hop on. You could tell us a story about that one too. Okay.
Yeah, sounds awesome. This was
Okay.
fun. Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody,
Thank
for
you.
coming out.
Yeah, thank you for hanging out. All right, everybody else, thank you so much. I'm gonna hop on just so you guys know, hopping on to my next webinar, which is my pitch, and you can go to stacyrossetti.com/fund if you're interested. I pitch that every Monday night, and we got a property under contract, so I'm gonna go over that deal. It'll be one of the deals that goes into the fund tonight. All right, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Valerie, and we'll take care. Bye.